What you are about to hear completely changed the life of a woman who never believed in miracles, a nurse who had worked for 12 years without ever questioning anything, until that early morning when the security cameras proved she was completely alone. But she swears she wasn't. This is the story of Jennifer Walsh, and the miracle of the Virgin Mary that no one saw coming. But before we continue, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from and what time it is there right now. I'd love to see how far the miracles of the Virgin Mary are reaching. You know, that kind of person who just keeps going, no matter what happens. Wakes up, works, comes home, doesn't complain, doesn't ask for help, just keeps going. Jennifer Walsh was like that, 34 years old, a nurse in the Neonatal ICU of a hospital in Chicago for 12 years. A job that demands a very specific kind of person, one who can care for the smallest patients in the world without breaking down at every shift. But if you looked closely over the past 8 months, you'd notice something had changed about her. The way she avoided long conversations in the locker room, how she rushed out of the hospital the moment her shift ended, yet sat in her car in the parking lot for 10 minutes before she could turn the key. The truth? 8 months since the divorce. Marcus had left, taking half of their things, and all the strength Jennifer had left to fight. She signed the papers without arguing, without asking for anything. 4 months since her mother passed away. Jennifer didn't talk about any of it. When coworkers asked how she was doing, she smiled and said fine, and almost believed it as the word left her mouth. The apartment she lived in now was small. 1 bedroom, a kitchenette, 3rd floor with no elevator. Temporary, she had thought when she signed the lease. 8 months later, there were still boxes stacked against the living room wall. On the nightstand, a single-framed photo. Jennifer, at 15, with her mother in a park, both smiling. Jennifer looked at that photo every night before turning off the light. And every night she wondered when it would stop hurting so much. Work was what kept her functioning. In the neonatal ICU, there was always something to do, someone tiny needing care, problems that demanded total focus. No room to think about divorce or how her mother's house now sat empty, waiting to be sold. Jennifer especially liked the night shifts. At night, the hospital felt different, the halls quieter, only the essentials running. Jennifer liked the essentials, the simple things, the things that didn't require her to pretend she was whole. That Tuesday in March, Jennifer arrived for her 11 p.m. shift as usual. She parked, grabbed her lunch bag, though she never had an appetite for it, went up to the locker room, changed clothes, tied her hair into a tight bun, sanitized her hands 3 times, a habit she no longer noticed, entered the ICU. The nurse from the previous shift, Linda, was finishing her notes. "Quiet night?" Jennifer asked. Linda didn't even look up from the computer. So far. Incubator 2 had a drop in oxygen saturation at 8, but it stabilized. Incubator 5 came in 2 hours ago, 28 weeks, premature, mother's recovering from an emergency C-section. Jennifer picked up the clipboard. 7 months, lungs still underdeveloped. Family? Father is in the room with the mother, first pregnancy. They're scared. They said they're going to name him Gabriel. Jennifer knew that fear. She saw it every day. Parents looking through the glass, unable to hold their children, unable to do anything but wait and pray. Linda finished typing and stood up. "It's all noted. Call me if you need anything." And Jennifer was left alone with 7 incubators and the silence of the night. Jennifer began her rounds. Incubator 1, Incubator 2, 3, 4. When she reached number 5, she stopped. Through the transparent acrylic, the baby slept. So small. His tiny hands closed into fists. Jennifer stepped into the area. "Hi, little Gabriel," she whispered. "I'm Jennifer. I'll be taking care of you tonight." She checked the monitors. Temperature, oxygen saturation, heart rate, everything within normal range. She stood there for a moment, just watching. She thought about the parents, how they must be exhausted but unable to sleep, how their lives had changed completely in a matter of hours. She went back to the central station. The hospital was almost completely silent now. Only the hum of the machines, the occasional beep from a monitor. Jennifer grabbed the lukewarm coffee she had brought from home, opened the computer, and began reviewing the medical records. The night passed slowly, as it always did. Midnight, full round, everything normal. 2:30 a.m. Jennifer stared at the computer screen without really seeing it, her thoughts drifting. She stood up and went to do another round, even though it wasn't time yet. She needed to move. She needed to do something. She walked past all the incubators. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She stopped there, watched the baby sleeping, the ventilator doing the work his lungs couldn't get done on their own. And she found herself thinking, for the first time in months, about something other than her own emptiness. She thought about her mother, how she would have loved to be a grandmother, how she would have made those awful but love-filled crocheted blankets she insisted on giving as gifts. Jennifer closed her eyes for a second. When she opened them, it was already 3 a.m. She had been standing there for nearly 20 minutes without realizing it. She sighed. She needed to get back to the station. She was turning around when she felt it. Roses. Jennifer froze completely. The unmistakable scent of fresh roses, as if someone had just opened a huge bouquet right next to her. She looked around. There were no flowers. Flowers were strictly forbidden in the ICU. And yet the smell was there, strong, real, impossible to ignore. Jennifer walked to the ICU door, looked down the hallway. Empty, no scent of roses outside. She went back. The smell remained, stronger near incubator 5. Her heart began to beat faster. Cleaning product, perfume from a co-worker who had passed by earlier. The smell of roses was so intense now that she could almost see the flowers. Red roses, fresh, just like the ones her mother used to plant in their garden. Jennifer stood there, trying to process it, trying to find a logical explanation. The scent lasted maybe a minute, maybe 2. Then it began to fade, gradually, until it disappeared completely. Jennifer looked at the baby. He was still sleeping. Monitor steady. Nothing had changed. But something had happened. She had felt it. Jennifer staggered back to the station and sat down. Took 3 deep breaths. "Tiredness," she said aloud to the empty room. "It's just tiredness." The rest of the night went by slowly. Jennifer made her rounds on schedule, checked monitors, took notes, everything mechanical, everything automatic. But she kept glancing at incubator 5, and part of her still expected to smell those roses again. She never did. At 7 a.m, the next nurse arrived for her shift. Jennifer grabbed her bag and left. In the parking lot, she sat in the car but didn't start the engine. The sun was already rising, the sky growing lighter. Jennifer rested her head on the steering wheel. What had just happened? Was it the effect of accumulated stress, the grief she never properly processed? Or... She shook her head. She wasn't even going to think about it. She started the car and drove home. Thursday, 11 at night. Jennifer arrived for her shift. Linda was finishing her notes, ready to leave. "How was the day?" Jennifer asked. "Quiet. But look." Linda hesitated. "Dr. Harrison stopped by this afternoon. He ordered new tests for baby 5. Said the numbers aren't improving." Jennifer felt her stomach tighten. "Did he say anything else?" "That he'll review the results tomorrow and decide if the protocol needs adjustment." Jennifer was alone in the NICU with the 7 babies, but she could only think about one. She went to incubator 5. The baby was asleep. "You need to get better," she whispered. At 2 a.m, Jennifer was at her station when she felt it, an impulse, a need. She stood up and went to incubator 5. The baby was asleep, and then she felt it, a presence. Jennifer turned her head slowly and saw a woman, standing less than 2 meters away, on the other side of the incubator. Jennifer blinked. The woman was still there. Real. Wearing a deep blue dress, dark long hair falling over her shoulders, a young face but with eyes that seemed to carry centuries. The woman was looking at the baby, and on her face was pure compassion, unconditional love. Jennifer tried to speak. No sound came out. The woman extended her hand. Jennifer couldn't move, couldn't breathe. And then the woman lifted her eyes, looked directly at Jennifer. The world stopped. Brown eyes with impossible depth, eyes that saw everything. But there was no judgment, only love, complete acceptance. The woman smiled, a smile that lit up her entire face. Jennifer felt the tears start to fall. The woman vanished, just like that. Suddenly, Jennifer stood there, heart racing, hands shaking. She looked around, empty corridor, other incubators, monitors beeping normally. She looked at incubator 5. The baby was asleep. But Jennifer knew something had happened. Something real. Her legs gave out. She had to lean against the wall. She whispered, "What was that?" When she finally managed to move, she ran to the security room. She banged hard on the door. Tom opened it. "Nurse Walsh, did something happen? I need to see the cameras, the ICU ones, now." "Is everything all right? Please." He let her in, sat down at the monitors. "What time frame?" "The last 15 minutes. Tom rewound the footage. On the screen, Jennifer entering, standing still, staring at the other side of the incubator. But there's no one there. Just her, alone, looking into the void. "Nurse Walsh, did you see anything specific?" Tom asked carefully. Jennifer couldn't speak. Tom looked visibly worried. "Do you want me to call someone? The supervisor?" No. Jennifer took a deep breath. "I'm sorry." "Thank you, Tom." She left the room before he could say anything else. Jennifer didn't sleep when she got home. She sat on the couch staring at the wall, trying to process. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw that face, those eyes, that smile. But the cameras showed she was alone. How was that possible? Jennifer went back to her shift, still shaken, still confused. Linda gave a quick handover. "Oh, something strange. Baby 5. The vitals started improving this morning." Jennifer stopped. "Improving how?" "Oxygen levels up, breathing less labored." Jennifer went straight to incubator 5 as soon as Linda left. Sunday, the improvement continued. Monday, more improvement. On Tuesday, Dr. Harrison gathered the nursing team. "Baby 5's test results are astonishing," he said, flipping through the clipboard. 5 days ago, he was stagnant. I was considering high-risk procedures. And now his lung function is improving at a rate I haven't seen in years. 3 weeks later, the baby was discharged from the ICU. Jennifer was there when the parents came to pick him up. The mother cried with joy, holding her son, now almost 2 kilos, breathing on his own, healthy. "Thank you," the mother said to Jennifer. "Thank you for taking care of him." Jennifer smiled. "He's strong. He fought hard." When they left, Jennifer stayed there. The empty incubator. The equipment turned off. Silence. She stood in the same spot from that night. Closed her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. Jennifer got home, climbed the 3 flights of stairs, opened the apartment door. The boxes were still stacked against the living room wall. Jennifer looked at them, 8 months there, untouched. She dropped her bag, walked to the smallest one, opened it. Inside, books. Her mother's recipe books, the ones with flour stains and notes scribbled in the margins. Jennifer picked one up. Opened it to a random page. Carrot cake. Her mother's handwriting. Double the recipe, never enough. Jennifer smiled. She took the book to the kitchen. Placed it on the empty shelf above the stove. 1 box. 1 book. A beginning. The following week, Jennifer slept. It wasn't planned. She came home after her shift, sat on the couch to take off her sneakers, and passed out. She woke up 4 hours later, the afternoon sun pouring through the window. She stood up, disoriented, looked at the clock. 2 in the afternoon. She had slept, deeply, without waking up once. Jennifer sat there, processing that. When was the last time? She couldn't remember. 3 months went by. It was June. Jennifer's apartment now had all the boxes unpacked. Pictures on the walls, plants on the windowsill. Her mother's photo still on the side table. But there were others too. Jennifer with friends at brunch. A memory from a weekend visiting her cousin. Small things, but important ones. Jennifer still worked the night shifts. Still liked the silence, the routine. But something had changed. She couldn't quite explain it. The problems hadn't disappeared. The divorce still hurt sometimes. The absence of her mother still ached. But it felt different. It was as if she had understood something that night. About carrying on. About not being alone even when it feels like you are. Today, Jennifer Walsh still works in the Neonatal ICU in Chicago, but there's something different now. In the drawer of her nightstand, next to the wedding ring she no longer wears, there is a small image of Our Lady that she bought 3 weeks after that night. She doesn't pray every day, but sometimes she takes the image and simply holds it. And she remembers those gentle eyes, that smile that said, "It's all right, I'm here." And look, if you made it this far, to the end of Jennifer's story and little Gabriel's, do one thing for me. Write Gabriel in the comments, the name of the baby the doctors couldn't explain. I want to see how many hearts this story truly touched. And every time I read Gabriel in the comments, I'll know one more person believes that miracles still happen. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Write in the comments about a miracle you've witnessed or experienced, and share this video with someone who needs to renew their hope today. May the Virgin Mary continue to bless and protect you and your family. Amen.